Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Dead by Dawn. We are here with another amazing match. We have Glacial versus Behelit. Honestly, a matchup I'm very excited for because we're starting out on a bit of an unusual pick, Lazy. We have here Houndmaster on CT2, which I think you were talking about. This might have actually been the standard map for her when she first got released, but I've never had the pleasure of playing on this map against the Houndmaster, so excited to see what Team Glacial is going to be able to cook up. And we're seeing a really greedy and nasty first chaser, greeting this high builder but still getting the stun.
Yeah, this is our first time playing Handmaster in Dead by Dawn, and it's gonna be surprisingly how the results gonna look like, because normally when you see like Handmaster on high tiers, it might look like stages or even 4K sometimes when the killers play perfectly, but on mid tiers it can happen everything. And let's see, maybe we're gonna see some amazing play from Behelit. We can already see Weevil hitting the dog on Clownfish and waiting for the Hindred to apply.
Yeah, I mean, this is some very standard Houndmaster gameplay, especially if you're in a location where you are fine getting the down as Houndmaster. You're gonna wait for, as you said, that hinder. It's a lot better. It gives the survivors almost no distance. And now we're stuck on the main pallet, which I feel like is quite unsafe against Houndmaster. Clownfish doing a great job dodging the dog, though, but doesn't dodge the Houndmaster herself. He is on the pallet. Will we hear any footsteps nearby? No, I don't think there's any footsteps. I did see someone sneaking around top mid a little bit. Generator is also slightly progressed, and this generator is a lot more progress than just slightly, which is, well, this is really unfortunate. We were obviously trying to stack this mid-gen. It's really easy to harass as the killer, so we were trying to get away of this generator as soon as possible, but we got the down just a little bit too fast. Maybe we could have had someone help and chase on main, and that could have given us some more time to pop the generator before that first chase falls, but now we are instead forced to get a quick unhook, which goes quite smoothly because the other survivor doing a great job in chase, waiting out with the pallet stun, and now the survivor was our new tunnel out is just gonna go main. We saw another survivor here maybe to help, but we'll just have to see what they're planning exactly.
Yeah, last time, this is very unfortunate break. Last time when we saw Glacier, they were a little bit disorganized and were like, I feel like the mentality might be a little bit down, but they're showing perfect performance against Behelit. They're showing that they didn't lose a match and they still want some more. They want the win for their team. And let's see, maybe they're gonna show it, but very perfect dunk from our Weevo. And we see second stage at 3 gens. The mid gen I think pops, and right now we're a little bit stuck with 2 stages at 3 gens and split gens. This is might be a little bit hard situation for our killer.
Yeah, I mean, the progress isn't too high. We realize two survivors just finished the heal, so not many people are working on gens. I believe we might have a little bit of progress around the shack area, or yeah, this generator right here on either 6 or 9, depending on what callouts you use on Flower 2. But yeah, the main problem is committed for our tunnel outs. They are in the complete opposite corner of the map where we want to be, which is really difficult for us. Master, even though she has some mobility, she can't be on 2 places on the map at the same time, which means survivors are just going to get to work these generators completely for free. And I mean, if they pop 1 or 2 more important generators, we also don't really have a free gen anymore. I mean, we have this main gen, which we can also always work, since I do believe we have some good exhaustions allowed, like balance and sprint burst. So yeah, I mean, this is just looking to be quite a good split for the survivors heading into a 3v1, hopefully somewhat soon. I mean, there's no generators popping just yet, but I think we're just splitting multiple different gens, just getting the progress. Maybe Houndmaster might be able to interrupt a little bit of that, though. Ooh, that's very unfortunate.
I feel like there goes the problem right now, because after a 3v1 right now, the survivor is gonna just pre-run the Handmaster and like force her to like commit the chase that is not like killer is not advantageable, and like there goes the problem right now, because yeah, we have a shack still up, but let's see if our Handmaster can do something with it. We're waiting patiently on our dock, and unfortunately we missed that. Monica gets a free shack, and let's see what we can do something with, because like the survivors are just splitting the gens on bottom, and there's a problem because I don't think Killer can stop this. Even with this tag, Nick is gonna go full top without like even stopping for a second because he just needs to get stopped. Unfortunately from our Weevo, and yeah, we're on top already, and the gens might be popping in a second.
Is very unfortunate. I was kind of surprised to see Shack Gen and the generator right next to it both being high progressed. I feel like it might have been better to commit at least one of those generators, so we're down to only one gen. But I feel like Glacial is still very much in control here. We see the eruption and painters coming out, but it's just after this Shack generator pops. But Walk is actually, I feel like he's quite aware of what generators he has to be scared of. But we are just going to commit the Shack chase a little bit longer. Somi is doing his best working on mid-generator, but is forced to go for the pull. And if we die here on Shack with a bit of a short chase, that could mean a catastrophe. Cannot die close to this hook, but it's not gonna happen. Monica is locked in. We still have a lot of resources in this area of the map. We still have the Pallet Gym into the God Rock here. And I think we're just gonna try to take our hit towards there. Nice dodge on the dog, and get enough distance after this one, I would hope.
Yeah, I feel like the gens I think on main might be a little bit of a progress because the survivor, we don't see, no, we saw Soma. We didn't see Nick for a long time. No, they're just stuck in mid-gen, hoping that they're gonna get the pop. I feel like Killer just need to realize that he needs that kind of freshes, because the fresh there only can guarantee that win with that.
It's just such a unique and smart strategy to try. We had a survivor in the dog. They were injured, so we could have taken it down at any point we wanted to. But instead, Walk tried to apply eruption to the generator mid-chase, which you can actually see Masters doing this more often. Like, they can either break pallets or kick a gen in the meantime while the survivor is dogged, because they're not going anywhere anyways. But Nick was actually able to make a pallet and stun the dog, which means we didn't get eruption in time, and the generator pops right in our face, bringing us to the end game. This is so unfortunate. I feel like if we either just committed for the down instantly or committed the person who was trying to pop the gen, we could have stayed in the out of the end game just a little bit longer. But Survivor's doing such a great job keeping the progress on these gens. Now we are definitely just gonna have to play for stages, but Monica right here is quite a few stages still walking around, and another fresh hook. Which, if we get one of the fresh survivors right now, we'll get a 8-stage free fresh, which is definitely not something to be mean about. That's a good result. I think it's definitely above average, especially on a map like Cold Tower 2, which offers a lot of safety and a lot of good tiles, and it's quite big, so you can have pretty decent gen spreads. But we still do have to get that down first.
Survivors are not helping our killer, making him a little bit of struggle for this down. They're not making it easy for him to get this free fresh. Let's see the strategy for them. We're gonna get the dog rid of the Soma. Let's see if they can make it out together. Let's see what our killer can have a strategy. The dog goes away, but he can body block this. Let's see.
Yeah, we see here team play is so incredibly broken against the Houndmaster. You can constantly help survivors get rid of the dog and just body block afterwards, but sadly, Somi does get caught out. I believe this was one of our fresh hooks, so it's going to be another 3 hook stages. Overall, such a great job by both teams. I was definitely happy to see the amount of gen progress the survivors were doing. They realized our killer was just camping, so they could split faraway gens, which was very well played. And I mean, our killer still just tried to make the best of it. Almost had a really nice play in the end with the eruption, but we'll be getting 2 outs. But overall, I think it's still a good result, Lazy. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like 8 stages free fresh is doable for our survivor, and it's possible win con. They just need to do the same thing as Glacial did, so just split pressure and hope that that killer is not gonna fully pressure them off the gens and play for freshes.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, we're just gonna have to wait and see what our other survivor team is able to bring to the table. So that's why we'll be going into a small intermission. See you in just a couple of minutes.
Welcome back everyone. We are here with the second set of Han Master. We are seeing Glacial on the skiller. Their win con is I feel like eight stages for fresh or 9 stages. What do you think about that center? Can Glacial can make that win con?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, 4Ks are possible on this killer. Even like 4Ks at higher gens are going to be very hard, but I have seen them before. But it appears Clownfish is not really interested in playing for that. We see the Noed addition to our build, which I think we have the exact same build as our last killer, just swapping Noed for Agitation, which of course with a win con like this is definitely not a weird idea, because getting a couple extra stages in the end game gets so much easier with Noah, especially last game we almost saw some really good teamwork from the survivors, almost getting all of the survivors out of the gates. If something like that happens, you're going to be very, very sad. So Noah is going to make sure that's not going to be possible. But, I mean, we don't have any sort of incidents just yet, so right now we're just playing our M1 selves, or getting rid of some resources, trying to pressure survivors, but they are playing very aggro for this generator right here. We are seeing a lot of progress. Multiple survivors running away, probably one survivor working a faraway generator closer to Shack. Definitely catch them off guard here, hit the edge map, and we're gonna try to hit our dog here, but it appears we do make Godrock here, which we are... Oh, okay, it's all fine. That was calculated with smash hits, yeah, perfectly calculated.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing like the average Handmaster getting rid of all of the pallets on this map because like they're a little bit not in the favor on Handmaster and trying to get it down as fast as possible. We can see some cheeky mind game from our killer trying to surprise Weaver on the shack, but he's not getting it. And maybe we're gonna see some gen popping in like out long distance away, but yeah, I jinx our killer. And yeah, there goes the mid-gen that Survivor was stacking. I feel like Clownfish is not happy with the situation he is here right now, because he doesn't have a down, and still he needs to get this down very fast. And there goes another Godrock, which is gonna be a little bit not very good. We can see another perfect stun from Weaver, and he reaches another tile. This is gonna be long chase, unfortunately, for our killer, which might result even second gen pop. Unfortunately, no, because unfortunately our survivor make a little bit of mistakes and fall for the mind game from our killer.
Yeah, I mean, that's an unfortunate mind game. We're hearing some footsteps behind us. I'm not entirely sure what that's about. But we did still do an amazing job in the first chase. Second generator still popping, as you said, and we have some more progress on other generators. We are immediately in chase already. I mean, a lot of these pallets are now dropped. We had a lot of good resources around Shack, but most of it is now used. We see an instant FTP coming out, which I feel like is kind of unnecessary. I mean, we're already in the stage where we're almost popping the third generator of the game. The killer realistically cannot play for a tunnel out right now, so it's probably better to just preserve those fresh hooks. I mean, even if we didn't use a pain rest, so honestly our killer can do whatever they want, but I feel like it's maybe better to just start splitting some gens, or maybe get a full heal off, especially since we're committing lip. We do get the pain rest now, but are we gonna go to right generators? It does look like we're gonna go to Shack, try to interrupt this, since we heard, or we knew there was 2 different survivors here, and this generator is already so close to popping. This gen progress is quite insane. You can definitely sense that these survivors are very confident on this set. I mean, that's why they picked it. And main popping in the distance as well. That has secured a very good gen split for us. I mean, we have this corner gen very far away, another generator next to main, and then the gen all the way on Shack, which is, as we just saw, already 90% almost done with. And okay, it's not even. It's already done. We're down to 1 generator with only 2 stages. Lazy. This is not where you want to be.
Yeah, this is for sure not you wanna be, and Clownfish realized that, and he needs to make something happen very fast, because like the situation he is here right now is not very fun, because he needs 8 stages or 9 stages to win, but yeah, the stages are not calculating for me, and the 50s from Tyson, yeah, there goes the third down, but can survivors can pop a last gen? I don't think so, yeah, they don't have enough progress, they're just splitting gens. Yeah, but the thing is, can Killer prevent the gens from popping? Because Survivor is splitting 2 gens, and we see Clownfish a little bit struggling with the Handmaster power. as we know, like this power is not very favorable for our killer, and sometimes is a little bit wacky and is not aiming for the gens or the survivors, so it's understandable fully.
Yeah, I mean, every killer comes with a couple of bugs. I feel like it's quite rare that we see no bugs on any killer, but that's fine. That's fine. It's DVD. We love this game. We play it. We love it. But yeah, as you said, I don't think the killer is really able to hold up with the gen split the survivors have going on here. When we're splitting multiple different gens, we still need what is it, 5 stages even after we camp this out, which we do even see the unhook coming out just before we get here in time, and we're seeing sprint burst and life, and both the survivors make somewhere safe, which means, I mean, that's a problem, because I was gonna say the only way we get enough stages here is by doing a bit of a slugfest in the endgame with Noed, which always is possible. I mean, especially when the survivors aren't expecting Noed, which Nathan definitely wasn't expecting here. We get caught off guard on the gate, and we are just going for the hook here, which, it's fine, but it's, yeah, no, I would say normally it's fine, but right now it's not fine. Gate is opened. All of the survivors are gone, Lazy. That's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
that's the game. That's the first game for Behelit. They take their own set. Let's see how they go on the Glacial set, which is, I think, Wesker. Glacial picked Wesker, and they need to show the same confidence as Behelit showed on Handmaster.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're ending this with, I think it was a 6 stage with 3 freshes, something like. Still not a bad result, of course, but Behelit playing slightly better. And I mean, honestly, just like you said, I don't really have anything else to add. I'm just looking forward to see if Team Glacial can bring it back in the next match. We will see you in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with the second set. Behelit taking the Houndmaster set means we're now to Wesker, which is always one of my favorite sets. We can see so much juking from both the killer and the survivor side. We're already seeing quite a few different survivors, maybe catching them slightly off guard. Ooh, I was gonna say we're forced to drop Shack early, but instead we're playing the 50, but we actually perfectly timed the window vault. That's so well played from Nathan. It shows he's definitely scrimmed some Wesker before. I mean, he read out the egg and makes the window vault, and we're forced to leave this. Because, of course, we don't want to mess up our pretty beautiful 4-gen on the top we have. Which is definitely something we're going to try to be playing for. Especially with Pain Resurrection, we're seeing some scratch marks around 8. I don't think this survivor has crossed, but another survivor has crossed already, all the way to the top. They're behind the main. We might start breaking some main doors now, which is, you know, some killers choose to break the main doors right off the bat. Some killers think it's more important to cut off rotations and get an early chase. Anyways, Clownfish is now on the main building, and we're starting the pace of the game.
Yeah, I feel like we can see some normal build from Klaus, which is Brutal Eruption Painless, and a lot of players play that. We could see some players play Pop Eruption too. What do you think about that? Which variant is better?
Honestly, I just like Pop more because it's just an ego pick. You're saying, I don't need Brutal, I'm just gonna down you all as much as I want anyways, and you're giving me free regression. Like, even though Brutal, it is probably technically better in my opinion, because the break and zone gameplay is just kind of what you need to do on Wesker. Especially with the bugged Macmillan maps where there's way too many God Rocks everywhere on the map. You kind of just need to break stuff, and stuff like Pack Pellet does, of course, as well. You just have to break it. But, I mean, right now, it doesn't even matter if you have Brutal. This chase is gonna last a while. We're just gonna get rid of all of these pallets on 7, but another top gen has already popped, so that 4 gen is now turned into a free gen, and I feel like we're giving a lot of time to be working even more generators in the top, which we're seeing right now. Ace already close to popping this generator. They're even stacking it just to make sure that free gen is gone, and I think, yeah, they will pop that before any pain res is reached, which we have a pretty good pain res hook. But that hill on top mid is kind of facing the wrong way, which means I don't think we're gonna make that. And the Clownfish is coming to that same conclusion, especially if the survivor's ready for a hit tank. There's no way we're making that hill hook, which is really so unfortunate.
Yeah, this is a very unfortunate situation for Clownfish. He doesn't seem to have any PRs bottom. His only PRs are top, which is gonna be probably death spot for our survivors after they pop every gen top, but after this might be a little bit of hard situation for Clownfish. We can see some insta-pull coming from Behelit, and yeah, I'm not surprised by this because they're doing amazing job on chase and on the gen pressure. They're not lacking on anything. They're just making sure that Killer is gonna waste a lot of time even on the even on one down. You can see some 50s come in from Lip. Is he gonna win everything? Let's see. Unfortunately, he's getting tagged, and let's see if he can. I think he can last till the main pops, and we're gonna see 2 gens left on the trial, and I don't think Clownfish is happy with the situation right now because he doesn't seem to have a down like that instantly, and still I don't see PR coming in.
Yeah, this is not the best position to be in. Definitely a situation where you realize, okay, 4K isn't happening. I'm gonna have to play for stages. That's why we are just committing onto Lip here, even though it's kind of out of position. We need to get this down. We need to get this pain res, which luckily we do have here. And we're actually, yeah, we're just gonna look at mid map because we have to go back to those bottom generators. We have to pressure it. We know they instantly unhooked that first survivor that got hooked, and they healed on the hook there. So there's going to be at least 2 survivors bottom. They might be stacking a gen just to get it out of the way, or they might be splitting 2 different gens. But either way, we have to go here and pressure it. Yeah, we're hearing Shaq. Very, very progress right here.
Yeah, I feel like there is no RNG bottom right now, which is in favor of on Clownfish. Maybe he can cook something with this RNG because like survivors are not safe here. What only they can do is pre-run, but yeah, that's what we can see from Weevo. He's just pre-running towards top side of the map, and Clownfish needs to win this 50 to get even a down, and that's the next Godrock, which is gonna be 4th Godrock on this map. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't seems to get even first tag on Weevo. And there goes another Godrock, which is, I don't think Clownfish is happy with what is happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, what's really unfortunate is we see in the bar on the left, survivors actually popping the last gen. And currently we're chasing someone who has already been hooked. This isn't even a fresh hook. So I feel like it might even be good to try to leave this, but leaving this is quite scary since all these other survivors are actually just healthy. And when you start a chase with a healthy survivor, when the exit gates are already being opened, you just know that that's probably not gonna be the best course of action since the survivors are gonna be going for hit tanks, especially with a team you know to be so coordinated. But yeah, instead survivors are just letting Walk die after this beautiful rush from Clownfish. And I mean, that is an insane survivor result. I would say definitely above average.
Yeah, this is 4 stages, 2 first, which is unexpected because we saw a lot of 4Ks in like previous trials from Weskers and a lot of like high stages, but I think it's my first time seeing 4 stages. It's just very well played from our survivor and showing that even on Glacial Peak they're confident.
Yeah, very well said. And just like before, I think, I mean, we've been having some very quick games. It's been only 40 minutes and we're already done with our 3rd game. So I don't see a reason to stop. Let's just head right back into the intermission and we'll see you back in a couple of minutes.
Welcome back everyone. This is 2nd game of Wesker, which might be match point for Behelit. Killer needs to make a win on 5 stages. Survivors need to a little bit of try to make Killer struggle a little bit because the 5 stages win con is not looking good for them. 5 stages against Wesker is, I don't think this might be possible. Farsak is playing very careful on his dash and getting the ducks very fast. We already can see first duck on Monica, which is going to the main, and we're gonna see some mind game coming from Farsak. Maybe it's gonna work. Let's see if the dashes come in. Unfortunately for Farsak, he doesn't get it, and yeah, that's... We are still chasing, I think, Monica, yeah. It's our super chase.
We're actually seeing Champion of Light coming in here on the first chase, which I was gonna say it could help us quite a bit, because once this pallet is broken, you're kind of zoned behind the main. But actually, instead we had someone there as well for the hit tank, but both of those didn't really line up, and instead our Yuichi, Mr. Yellowman, ends up getting thrown into the wall, and now we're just swapping our targets. We're going all the way back. We saw the rotation from 8. Sami maybe not entirely up to speed that the killer is swapping, and we get a nice throw. That is a goal! And we're just gonna keep swapping chases. We're getting infectious on different survivors, which means we can always choose to go back around the map, and it's gonna give us more info. Survivor running through us after the throw, which is of course possible because funny game, yeah.
Yeah, we can see some. This is our third chase, which will result down. I feel like Soma is a little bit locked out of this game. He didn't realize that killer changed the target from main, and he ran into the killer a little bit. And yeah, this is. I think this is gonna be the first gen popping coming in from Glacial, and yeah, the chases were strong, but still, it results a first hook, which is we're in the a little bit of way towards our win con.
Yeah, I mean, that win con we're talking about, we only need a couple of stages. I believe it was 4 stages with 3 different fresh hooks would result in the win. So, fast track, we're not in a hurry, but it does mean we cannot start slacking now. I mean, 2 generators already popping, but we do still have 2 survivors fully infected and injured, which means we could put a little bit of extra pressure around the map.
Yeah, fast track found the reset actually found the survivor which is fully infected, but he's not interested in it. He wants to protect this unhook and get Soma to second stage to get the very fast run out, hoping that I think he's gonna want to get the 4K at this match. We can see some Skywester attacks coming in. I mean, just killer showing that unfortunately from wait. Soma going to second stage, unfortunately going for our survivors, not making an unhook before second, and yeah, this is gonna be a little bit of trouble situation because we have miscommunication from our survivor which way killer is coming from, and we see Nick taking a tag throw, which he didn't expect he's gonna get committed, and yeah, this is gonna be second down, and it's gonna be next PR.
Yeah, that is a very unfortunate chase where Nick would expect a standard game plan of just taking the tag onto him and then committing the tunnel out. But Fast Track realizing we don't need to care about this. It's probably a lot better to just take this pain res so we make sure this bottom generator that's being worked isn't getting popped. But yeah, we are just going to interrupt this. We actually see 2 different survivors here. One's injured and both are injured actually. Wait, this is quite a good position to be in. We're just going to be breaking this. Only have a 4 lane available to us, but it's safe enough because we get another goal. And I mean, oh, maybe we see some. I was gonna be so excited if that was a hug tech, but it doesn't. Just gonna commit this chase. The survivor is infected, which means they're slowed down quite a bit. And yeah, these 50s just get so infinitely harder once you're slowed down so much.
Yeah, and there goes our timeout 3 gens, and this is this is our 4th stage, 2 freshes, which next down is gonna result win for Behelit, and we still have 3 gens in the game. I feel like survivors need to play it perfectly so that they won't get any downs, but we can see another tag coming to Clownfish, and this might be actually a 2-tap from our killer, and let's see if unfortunate box for Fast Track, and yeah, this is still a very hard win con for our survivor.
Yeah, absolutely. Fast Track, we can definitely see he's very confident on these dashes, going for some kind of instant flicks maybe. We're just taking our time here, there's no need to rush it. I don't even think we've had that much eruption coming into play. We've kind of just been committing these chases and getting downs very, very fast, which of course is completely fine. I mean, we're in an early 3v1, we still have 2 pain res available, well, now only 1, so used it, and that probably hit the generator on 1. But we are just gonna try to find Delving Survivor who popped this gen, but they've actually left all the way to Shack. We do find them. We're committing another chase here. Nick, there's a couple of different choices. He could either just try to commit this gen to get a bit of a better result, or he could go for the unhook, but seeing a bit of a misplay here. Maybe we were unsure if he would still get the blind So we will be going down under the pallet, and Nick chooses to just pop that generator all the way on 1. It's probably going to result in the 4K1, because I don't think we're going to be able to get the unhook in time. But we do actually have to hook quite far away. We don't even have any nearby hooks, so we might be able to get the pull, actually.
Yeah, maybe Glacial is still in the game, and yeah, there goes Nick getting unhook, and Clownfish getting the second win of hook. Let's see, maybe you're gonna do some miracle, and maybe you're gonna pop all the gens to get it even on outs of this game.
I mean, Clownfish just has to last a couple more seconds before that second wind kicks in. There it is. And we actually still have this pallet. I thought this got dropped already, but that must have been the pallet gym on 3 or on 2. Slightly misremembering. I believe that was also Smash Hit. Not entirely sure. There was quite a bit of distance, but Clownfish now just stuck playing Shack Window. That is a hit for Fast Track. And I mean, we have a couple different options here. We can just commit this chase, get the game to end a little bit sooner, or we could check up on our gens to make sure they're not accidentally popping one more generator, because the survivors are actually not healing, which is often an indication that they're instead just choosing to stack a generator. Of course, it is a little bit more risky to stack a gen with an injured survivor, but in these situations, especially if the killer is hitting the chase, it's often better to just stack and get that gen out of the way. But right now, that has led us to a bit of an inopportune moment where our injured survivor is stuck edge map, and we're now having to body block for them. But with Beetle, that's definitely not a good idea. The edge map is such a dangerous place to be, and Yoichi is learning that right now.
Yeah, there goes this next down on Nick. I think he wasn't expecting the beetle frame towards the edge map. He thought that he's gonna get stuck somewhere, but unfortunately for him, Fashak find an angle to throw him edge map and get fast 2-tap. Yeah, we can see some plasma coming in, and yeah, maybe I think we found another survivor, which was unfortunately for Glacial, and there goes the next down. I think Survivor just hoping that Clownfish is gonna pop the gen, but I don't think he has enough progress to even pop the gen.
No, that's definitely not going to be enough progress. I think we're just going to be going into our last chase of the game. That's not the button to drop down the stairs. That's the spray button. And that was a pretty fast last chase. I don't mind that.
I think Clownfish still can cook something with it, yes. Still makes out of the main, which is surprisingly. Fashak is a little bit lost, what is happening? Maybe Fashak going from some hack decks coming. Clownfish patiently waiting for Fashak to go in and wait for the chase. Yeah, there goes our last chase, yeah. I see some 50s coming from Clownfish. He won it. But still, Wesker Dash are too oppressive.
I mean, that is of course a great result. 4K1, definitely not unheard of on Wesker, but always great when you do achieve it. It's a good game by Fast Track, I would say. And we didn't even talk about his perk choices. We totally forgot about Agi. I feel like,
yeah,
I don't know, Agi, it's a good perk because the cold tower hook locations are so important. If you have a pain res all the way deep 12 or on top mid, often a very important hook to get a survivor on. But I don't actually see it that often. I feel like I barely see any wrestlers playing agitation. What about you, Lazy?
I think this is like, yeah, my first time seeing agitation, because like, yeah, this is unexpected like perk choice, because like as we saw on the previous trial, Clownfish didn't have a very good painless RNG, which was resulting him to not get enough pressure on map. And yeah, Survivor just popped every gen, but maybe with agitation he would make these PRs and maybe even pressure more of the gens.
Yeah, I mean that's not a dumb idea. And as I said, I definitely don't hate it. We already talked about a couple good other options. You have either Pop or Brutal or Noad. But I think this is definitely a good addition. I never really thought about before. And right now, Monica is just stealthing quite. Wait, they were actually still 5, and we somehow didn't see them. That's quite unfortunate. And instead, we're just checking the corner on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, I feel like this stats would be a little bit different if the RNG for our survival would be a little bit different. But still, Behelit making perfect plays and perfect choices with their decision making and the gen splitting. And yeah, they're making with this matchup with 2-0 out of Glacial, and we're trying to see some cool hack tests from Farshak. Yeah, but like,
I think we will just be going into our final intermission here. This game has ended in a 4K1. Of course, the hatch or the escape or the bleed out don't really matter for us. We don't work on a point system. We simply have the win con and they have to beat it, and otherwise you lose. And this actually already results our best of 3 for tonight, Lazy. That was, I think, one of the fastest best of 3s I've ever casted. I'm quite glad.
yeah, the refs and everyone did a great job doing speeding speeding everything very fast, and the survivor just getting into the lobby very fast. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great job. And I think without further ado, I'm just going to be signing off for tonight. We have another matchup quite a bit earlier coming back tomorrow. I think that's 6 p.m. Germany time. I don't know what time zone exactly it's called. Maybe Lazy can help me with that. But we will be seeing Excel versus Serenia with some other great sets. So I hope to see you there. And without further ado, I hope you have a good rest of your night.